This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody, and let's go ahead and open up the waiting room and let people into Daily with Doc and Becca. You are watching us here live or a repeat if you are checking us out at another time. But if you would like to join us live, we are here Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. You may join us by going to the URL dailywithdoczoom.com. That is dailywithdoczoom.com between 12 and 1 p.m. Pacific time. So one of the benefits of being here with us live is you're able to raise your hand and ask questions. So after or towards the end of the show, we try to leave some time for questions. So if you're here in the Zoom room with us right now and you have a question for Dr. Wallach, make sure that you raise your hand early. Sometimes we get a lot of hands up at the end of the show, and we aren't able to get to everybody. But if you have a question and you're not here with us and you would like an answer, you may email at questions@dailywithdoc.com. That's questions, the @ dailywithdoc.com. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, I am excited to have you here because today we are going to be talking about building stronger families without that whole genetic transfer of disease. So I can't think of a better person to help us do that than the doctor that we have on today, who is actually the founder and instigator. We're going to say instigator because he likes to instigate great things of this crusade to save humanity and the world, which is one of the names of his books. And before we get too far into it, if you were invited by somebody specific, we want to make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. This is a resource for an amazing community. We want to make sure that that community, as they're referring people and sharing the message, that they get thanked for doing so. And since you are the one that was shared the program, it's your job to get back with them and thank them. And if there's anything that interests you, they're going to be your first point of contact in getting more information on what is needed to help you meet your health outcome. So there's a difference between goals and then the outcome that you want to have. So goals, we get there and we kind of stop. Well, when we choose the outcome, we get there and we maintain. So just something to think about, folks. And let's see, if you're out in YouTube, we do have people that are watching the comments. That's YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. We have an amazing team. They're watching comments. So if you have questions there and they see those questions, they're going to raise their hand for you. And we're going to get some of those questions asked as well. So without further ado, let's talk about building stronger families without that fear of genetic transmission of disease. Now, I know the title is a little bit different, but when it comes down to it, folks, epigenetics is the science that proves the genetic theory of disease transmission to be incorrect. And the man that we have with us during this hour is one of the founding fathers of that science called epigenetics. Now, he has a lot of research, both doing his own autopsies, because not only is he a doctor of veterinary medicine, not only is he a naturopathic doctor, he has 3 postdoctorates. I mean, to get a postdoctorate, that's like major, what would you call it? A major endeavor, a major research per postdoctorate. And he's done that 3 times in collecting information, both doing the autopsies himself, plus reviewing autopsies that have been done through other people. All of that data that is collected, I mean, we're talking millions of data points, folks, connecting it to the poor health conditions that are existing in the individual. Now, with an autopsy, they don't usually do autopsies on live humans. So unfortunately, these individuals have passed on from certain condition, and the autopsy defines what caused the death. Well, with Dr. Wallach, he wanted to know more than just the cause of death. He wanted to go deeper into looking at all of the tissue samples, the mineral complex that's going on, the vitamins that are there or not there. And that's where he has taken and linked over 600 different poor health conditions to nutrient deficiencies, proving that so many different poor health conditions that are said to be genetic absolutely are not. And folks, that should be good news for you. Whether you have one of those conditions that you've been labeled with, let it go, because that is not who you are. And making some small tweaks within your own diet can change that label to no longer needing it. And that was me. That's what gave me just the drive to be able to want to help people and be here with you each and every day and make sure this message is heard. So without even further ado, I am going to find Dr. Wallach here and bring him on the screen with me, because Dr. Wallach, you've done some amazing things in your life. You have been on multiple platforms, starting out with radio. You traveled all around the world, not only for your research endeavors, but also to spread the message and let people understand that they are more in power of their own health than some entities want them to believe. So share with us, Dr. Wallach, why did you do that? Why did you do that so that families could actually be able to be healthier, grow healthier, and leave those genetic labels behind?
Well, I began on these projects when I was 9 years old. So you're 9 years old and you see the truth that has been missed by people with all kinds of degrees, and they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and have all this experience. They're missing it by a million miles. I'm figuring we have a problem here. We have a problem in gathering data. We have a problem in storing data. We have a problem in interpreting data. And so I started out when I was 9 and worked in pathology labs to pay for my schooling. Okay, so that's how I went through agricultural school, veterinary school, and so forth, was I worked at pathology labs. And so I learned a lot. And of course, my first 3 were, number 1 was cystic fibrosis, supposed to be a genetic disease. It's very simple nutritional deficiency, proved it, and got fired for that from Yerkes Primate Center.
Well, and not only that it was not a genetic disease, but it wasn't just a human disease.
That's right. It was because I found it in these monkeys, these rhesus monkeys in the
at the Yerkes Primate Center.
At the Yerkes Primate Center. And they didn't want to hear that. So 3 days after I gave them all the information, because I wanted to present it at a meeting, and so you had to go through their system to prove that, and they fired me. When they came back in 3 days after they got my information, they fired me. And to make a long story short, I had little kids, and so I had to feed them. So I'm out giving lectures to try and make enough money to pay for their food. And I said, well, what am I doing here? So I said, I'm going to become a naturopathic doctor, and started taking the classes to become a naturopathic doctor. And then, of course, you find more stuff. I found the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy. Gave it to Jerry Lewis. He was so excited. We went to 12 different places together. And what a great guy he was. And he had raised something like $2.4 billion for them for research. Okay. And they fired him. They fired Jerry Lewis and put a international gag order on him, so he couldn't tell the world that we had found the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy. And then I also found the cause and prevention of sudden death syndrome, SIDS. So that's why I don't hear much about it. Every once in a while I hear about one or two a year. But back when I was doing all that research on SIDS, sudden death syndrome, we were saying 500, 600, 1,000 a month. Okay. And it was all due to very simple nutritional deficiencies of the embryo. And my attorney and I, Jonathan Nemord, and I sued the FDA 8 times in federal court. And we sued the FDA in federal court 8 times, won each time. And it was a whole bunch of hoo-ha, but eventually we got them forced by the government to put these nutrients into baby formulas. And that's how we ended cystic fibrosis, we ended muscular dystrophy, and we ended sudden death syndrome. Very proud of that.
Well, and Dr. Wallach, people will ask me, well, what's so different about longevity and the products? And folks, right there, what he just said, suing the FDA, there are no other companies that offer any type of formulas that have sued the FDA 8 times and won. And it's because of his work that these other companies are able to make any type of health claims with the nutrients that are involved in their products. So let's think about that. You can piggyback off of somebody else's victories, or you can go with the one that was victorious. And that's what I did, Dr. Wallach, because I had tried all these other companies and they weren't working for me. And that was all before learning about you and your recommendations. And then when I went with the man that's done the work, wow. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So, Doc, you've done this, you've made these claims, you've gotten and forced the manufacturers of baby formula to put specific nutrients in the formulas, even getting specific nutrients put into prenatal vitamins.
Yes.
You've done so much to try to change the direction of family health. And folks, we've got other entities that are trying to work against us to keep us dependent on a health management program. Well, we're not trying to manage poor health. We're empowering you to maintain and claim and continue to have good health for yourself and generations to come, right, Doc?
That is correct. Because the truth is the truth. Gravity is gravity. And if people follow these things we've been able to achieve in courts, and then afterwards by the millions, over 80 countries and so many people involved, and millions of people involved. We have the books. There's four books. I've got 25 best-selling books, but there's 4 of them that everybody, including kids when they're first starting to read, should know. Hell's Kitchen, okay, that goes into the metabolic syndrome and many other diseases of kids. That book was published in 2004, I think, 2004. Yep.
Yes.
This Hell's Kitchen. And then It's On Your Head. there's about 50 different diseases that occur when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And you can get that when you're like 2 years old. Okay, osteoporosis of the skull. You turn to page 6 and you'll see a normal skull. Where the skull is the skull is a quarter of an inch thick. There you go at the top. And the bottom is 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and spinal cord, creating 50 different diseases. The doctors want you to think are genetic. They're not. They're just simple nutritional deficiency. You get rid of the osteoporosis of the skull, takes the pressure off the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and spinal cord, and all those diseases go away. Okay, and that book. It's 30 pages, a little soft page book. It's all in your head. There you go. You got it. Okay, and then the next one is the metabolic syndrome, which there's 1/3 of our adult population in America. 1/3 of the American adult population that has the metabolic syndrome goes back to 4,000 years ago. Okay, and the people who lived a long time lived in, quote, the land flowing in milk and honey, unquote. And the milk was not goat's milk or cow's milk or llama milk or camel milk. It was glacial milk. It was ground up rock dust. And the people who got all that rock dust with the minerals in it, they're the ones that lived the longest. The ones that didn't get that didn't. And so that's why it was only in a few places called the land flowing with milk and honey, because they were getting all this stuff coming down in the volcanic ash from the mountains. Okay. And then let's see here, the truth about nutrition. This is very important, the truth about nutrition, because it tells you, okay, there you go, that you can be responsible and eliminate all these problems by taking the 90 essential nutrients, okay, by taking the 90 essential nutrients. And page number 6 tells you how we got involved in the beginning, okay, page number 6, and everybody should read this one, okay. And then, of course, the newest book is only 5 weeks old, Metabolic Syndrome. This is, I think, 47 pages. And so this book, okay, Metabolic Syndrome, goes into all these diseases.
Go ahead and put it down, Doc. Go ahead and put it down. I've got it up for you.
Okay, good. Thank you. And
Thank you.
The thing that metabolic syndrome, okay, you have abdominal obesity, you have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, you have hypertension, high blood pressure, and usually a very high probability of heart disease. And these other 50 diseases are called low-grade diseases that go along with people who are disabled with the metabolic syndrome, okay? And they're all reversible in weeks, okay? Metabolic syndrome, you read chapter 14 of the book, Hell's Kitchen. It goes into the history of the metabolic syndrome and how to reverse it. And the metabolic syndrome, the book, okay, it tells you how to prevent it and how to reverse it. Okay, I'm so excited about these things, and every family should give this to their kids and to their loved ones and to their workmates and their church mates and so forth. So it's all in your head. Hell's Kitchen, The Truth About Nutrition, Metabolic Syndrome, and if you want kind of an interesting book, Let's Play Doctor. Okay, Let's Play Doctor. It teaches you, okay, how to diagnose diseases. It teaches you how to diagnose high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, osteoporosis, liver disease, kidney disease. And then it tells you what to do to eliminate those diseases, how to reverse them. Okay, it's all in the book, Let's Play Doctor. So those 4 or 5 books, every family should have them. And then, of course, we have the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. That book is sold. How many of those have been sold, Becca?
I would say that over 400 million copies of your Dead Doctors Don't Lie lecture have been, and many of them were sold with this book. So this is one of your first books. Well, Rhino Express was the first one, but I think this was Rhino Express may have been the second one, because Diseases of Exotic Animals, the big boy, that's held in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure, was your absolute first one. And that was your thesis, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, and it sold for $25,000 each.
Yeah, in the beginning. And thankfully, I have a business partner. We went in together on this one. and got our own copy of Diseases of Exotic Animals. So
Yeah, and this goes into the history.
a little thick.
Yeah, things what, 500 pages?
At least. Oh, no, Dr. Wallach. Let's say 1,050
1,050
at
pages.
least.
Okay.
1,050. So I'm glad that I'm lifting my weights because I can do it one-handed now. But yeah, this is a great book and a reference to have. So it's not just like, well, for some people, I know for Yvonne, she read it like a novel, but for most people, it's just a reference that goes through all of Dr. Wallach's researched papers and that have been published. They were all put together in this book and is used as a text for veterinary schools because of all the research that he did within zoos.
You can find it in libraries, medical libraries and veterinary libraries and pharmaceutical libraries all over the world. Okay.
Yep.
This book is a reference
Absolutely.
to thousands of diseases, along with the book and the CD, Dead Doctors
Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Okay.
So
That's a
yeah,
500
you're trying to
page
take
book.
my job away from me, Doc. Come on, you can't take my job away from me. Okay.
Okay.
So
And so basically,
there's-
this
well, bef-
information is unimpeachable. It has all the things you need. There's slides and everything. You cannot find as much proof on any other diseases as you find in these.
You've done a great job of putting them all together, Dr. Wallach. And folks, you can find Dr. Wallach's books and publications by going to www.drjwallach. Wallach is WALLACH.com. And you'll find all of Dr. Wallach's publications minus diseases of exotic animals, but all the rest of them, including a lot of the CDs that he has done of previous lectures that he had recorded from around the world. If you rather use a phone number, you can reach them by phone Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. Pacific time by calling 800-755-4656. And there you will get wellness publications. So Dr. Wallach, let's talk a little bit about getting people on nutrition and why food is just not enough.
Okay. Well, food is just not enough because plants only need 3 minerals and we need 60. Plants do not make minerals. In the old days, prior to 1812, for thousands of years, okay, for thousands of years, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, people would use wood ashes and coal ashes from their stoves and their fireplaces and their heating fires and so forth. They put the wood ashes and coal ashes into their gardens. And some of the plants had 3 minerals, some had 5, some had 10, some had 25, some had 50, some had 75, some had 100. Okay. And that's why they had the Gardens of Eden. That's why they had the places where people had the land flowing with milk and honey. Okay. And because those gardens had more minerals. Okay. And when you ate the food grown in there, you lived longer and healthier. But the other gardens, they still had the vegetables. They still looked okay, but they might have only had 3 minerals instead of 100. And so that's where the Garden of Eden came in. That's where the land flowing with milk and honey came in. And I spent literally millions of dollars going around the world collecting soil samples and finding out what was in the soils that were in the areas where the active functional lands flowing with milk and honey and the herbal gardens were found. Okay. And so it's one of those things where when you realize that there was more minerals there because of the glaciers grinding up the rocks on the top of the mountains, and that rock powder was white powder, got into the water and it looked like milk. And that's where the term the land flowing with milk and honey came from. It was glacial milk, not cow's milk. And of course, I received several nominations for the prize for that. I think it was 2 nominations. Very proud of that. And it's one of those things where we're saving millions of people now because of this information. We're saving millions of people every year. And we're very, very proud of that. And so we're looking for more help. We're getting so busy. Please join us. And you can become one of our associates, and you can, deal with members of your family, your church, your workmates, your neighbors, and together we can save humanity.
That's right, Dr. Wallach. Now, the glacial milk is full of minerals.
That's correct, but not the same place to place.
That's right. And that's one thing that you go through and you share the research on, and from in Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, where you do present the actual data from different areas around the world. And this also gives you information about the hair analysis that Dr. Wallach recommends to determine what you are absorbing and what is actually in the diet. So maybe I got that backwards. What's in the diet and being absorbed. So this that hair analysis gives us an idea that goes beyond just what you ate last week. So that's I think that's just absolutely amazing, Dr. Wallach, technology and the things that are available to help us figure out what we ourselves can do to help ourselves. Now, you're not against milk, like regular goat's milk, cow milk, camel's milk.
No, there's some few people
Wombat
who
milk.
to them, but they're a good food. And when you look at all the mammals on Earth, all over the place, all the mammals raise their babies on milk. All the mammals raise their babies on milk. And so the good Lord picked that form of baby food thousands of years ago, and it was universal. Whether you were a goat or a camel or a human being or a monkey or a gorilla or a horse, all the mammals had milk. And that was a delivery of the nutrition. The shortcoming came from where the mama was, where she was getting her food. Was she getting the minerals? She can't make minerals. She can make amino acids and that kind of stuff, but she can't make minerals. And so the mothers were living in a place that had plenty of minerals because they lived near the glacial milk, okay, and was getting the glacial milk minerals. There is where the babies had long lives. They lived a long time. They lived to be 75, 85, 95, 100, 150, 200, and so on. Whereas the people who lived in areas that didn't have the glacial milk, they were living in places where they might only have 3 minerals or 5 minerals or 10 minerals, and the babies would be born with a disease, birth defect or something like that, and maybe might die in the first couple of months of life because there wasn't enough nutrition in the mother's milk to support them. But we got it figured out.
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Wallach, and that's part of those lawsuits where you sued the FDA to make sure those minerals are getting in there early, but not early enough for some. And that's why, Dr. Wallach, you preach about starting the 90 essential nutrients 6 months before even thinking about having a family. So
Yeah,
is it just for the mom or is it for dad too?
Well, the dad too, okay? The dad needs to have them, the mom needs to have them, and they need to have them for at least 6 months to a year before they get pregnant. So the easiest way to say it is preconception, the mama should be taking all these nutrients. The embryo will be getting them then through the pregnancy, through the lactation of the mother's breast milk. They're going to have all those nutrients. And then the baby, once they start eating their own food, they have to be consuming drinks that have all these nutrients in it. And so that's why we came up with these various programs that no matter where you popped in, you had access to these mineral nutrients that could prevent and reverse diseases very economically.
Absolutely, Dr. Wallach. And Dr. Wallach, the company that you started, that you are no longer on the payroll of, you are no longer the owner of, you've turned that ownership over to your oldest son and his wife, so that you can go around and lecture and not worry about somebody saying that you're only saying this because you make a buck. It's because you truly believe in your research and you want to make sure people get it in a way that they can understand it, absorb it, and then through the company longevity, the formulations that you and your team have put together make it possible to actually get the nutrients that are needed to sustain and maintain good health. So you said something that really is very important. No matter where you're at or stage in life you're at, it's not too late to start a nutritional program like this, is it?
No, it's never too late. The earlier the better, but it's never too late. And if you're still alive and you take this, it's going to help you live longer. Okay. And it's one of those things where the science is unimpeachable. And of course, we're proud to say we contributed to a lot of the science. Again, the book Hell's Kitchen, the book It's All in Your Head, the book, let's see here, The Metabolic Syndrome, the book
Epigenetics, Let's Play
Epigenetics,
Doctor,
the book
Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Nutrition, and Let's Play Doctor, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And another one of those books I love is The Truth About Nutrition, because the third leading cause of death in America, is medical mistakes. And so you have to learn on behalf of your families, your neighbors, and your church mates, and your partners and so forth, your loved ones. You need to make sure that everybody gets access to all this information and access to these nutrients, and we can save humanity. Now, there are places on Earth where certain peoples were wiped out because they didn't have all the nutrients to protect themselves, for their immune system to protect them. Now, if that can wipe out villages and countries and things like that, it can wipe out everybody on Earth. If you get the right bug, it'll kill everybody on Earth. And so I don't want us to all die, and then a million years from now, some other culture and another planet gets in. Oh, look at this. Look at all these crazy people. They weren't taking all the right stuff and they all died. Okay, I don't want that happening. Okay, so we have some work to do to make sure that everybody gets the work done. Well, people say, well, that's what we have doctors for. Well, that's what it should be. But unfortunately, I'm going to take another 2 or 3 minutes if I may here. Okay.
Well, we do have some questions, so
Well, I won't take long.
1 minute.
10 minutes or less. Okay.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. Alzheimer's disease, we spend $345 billion a year just to treat the symptoms, not prevent or cure it. Arthritis, we spend $626.8 billion a year just to treat the symptoms, not prevent or cure it. Diabetes, $342 billion a year just to treat the symptoms, not prevent or cure it. Heart disease, $316 billion a year, not to prevent or cure it. Obesity, $260 billion a year just to prevent or cure it. Now, why is that? Well, that's because doctors have families. They want to put their kids through college. And as long as people are willing to pay for just treating the symptoms instead of getting rid of the disease, doctors are in. And that's why they're the third leading cause of death in America. They're the third leading cause. That came out about what, 2-3 months ago?
They've been the third for a few years, Doc.
Okay.
Which is crazy because people aren't understanding that medical errors are the third leading cause of death in the United States.
Yeah,
and we have the highest cost of medical care. So what's up with that?
Well, they don't want to change. They like that high cost of medical care, and that's how they put their kids in college. They live a luxury life, and they don't live to extraordinary times. I mean, how many medical doctors live to be 120? How many medical doctors live to be 100? Okay.
There are a couple, but I haven't heard of very many.
Not recently.
Yeah, not recently, especially. So, Dr. Wallach, as we're looking at the different stages in life, I know Longevity has a product that is suitable for children up to the age of 12. It's called Kids Toddy. It has vitamins, minerals, amino acids in there. And there's dosages that are put on the label. Need to also add an essential fatty acid, which for those that can swallow small stuff, there's the multi-EFA that Longevity offers, or the EFA plus. Children can take EFA plus, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the essential fatty acids are so important for their little brain health. So definitely don't want to overlook that, folks. I don't know very many children that really enjoy fish, especially not fish livers. So they're getting very little essential fatty acids to help their brain develop. And that's where being intentional about it is going to help us build healthier communities around the world. Once you hit 12, you got the Healthy Body Start Pack. Healthy Body Start Pack is all 90 essential nutrients that are suitable for majority of the people. If they're already healthy, wanting to stay healthy, the nutrients within those products have been scientifically proven, peer-reviewed studies on the nutrients that they do support good health. And then when you synergistically blend them together, like Longevity has done, wow. It's like I said in the beginning, Dr. Wallach, I had tried many different companies and products, and I was not getting better. In some cases, I was continuing to get worse because I was not getting everything that I needed. So I love that Healthy Body Pack, and they've made it simple. So if you've got bone and joint issues, get on the Healthy Body Bone and Joint Pack. If you've got brain or heart issues, get on the Healthy Body Brain and Heart Pack. If you've got digestive issues, get on the Healthy Body Digestion Pack. If you're athletic, get on the Healthy Body Athletic Pack. Gives extra nutrients that help support the fact that if you're active, you're sweating. That sweat is not just water, it's minerals too. And Rebound within that athletic pack gives additional vitamins and minerals and things that are important for bone and joint health. And it includes glucogel too. So there's another one. There's an anti-aging pack. And they all include the 90 essential nutrients, plus some of the secret sauces that if you've listened to any of the programs before, you've heard Dr. Wallach talk about secret sauces that help with targeted nutrition for the things that maybe are ultimate. Like I said in the beginning, there's goals that once you hit that goal, you just stop. Well, with 90 essential nutrients, it's like putting it in gas in your car, Dr. Wallach. It's like making sure that your oil is topped off and clean. The nutrients themselves help to keep the blood clean, the oil. And they provide energy. We're not saying that you don't need food. You still need the food, but Dr. Wallach, you've even found the foods that destroy health, and we put them on the back of the metabolic syndrome, where you have Dr. Wallach's good foods, bad foods list, the things to avoid, the things to add. And with everything, it's going to be within moderation, because it's not like you can just eat rice, right, Doc?
You can't just eat rice. No.
But there are certain things that you really want to avoid, because, and this is something that you probably didn't hear somewhere else. You probably heard the opposite somewhere else. There are bottled oils that are touted to be health promoting. Well, folks, those bottled oils are rancid. They create oxidation within the body that oxidation attacks the cells. So they're not actually promoting health. It's actually causing poor health within the arteries even. So plaque, Dr. Wallach, plaque is caused by fried foods and bottled oils and sugar, not cholesterol.
That's correct.
Cholesterol. So there's good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. The good cholesterol you want to take, eggs are your best friend.
Yeah, well, because cholesterol is a raw material for your sexual organs to make sex hormones. You make testosterone from cholesterol, you make estrogen from cholesterol, and people who are having sexual issues want to eat more eggs, want to eat more cholesterol containing meats and things like that. Okay. And then, of course, also your brain is 85% cholesterol. I repeat that, your brain and your spinal cord is 85% cholesterol. And so if you take the injections the doctors want to give you or the pills the doctors want to give you to lower your blood cholesterol levels, you're doomed to have a lousy short life. Okay. That's why.
At least one you can remember.
Well, let's see here. Let's look at what's the big one going on now?
With the Alzheimer's,
Parkinson's.
dementia, Parkinson's.
Yeah, Parkinson's. Up until 3 or 4 months ago, Parkinson's for 100 years would occur in America at a rate of 60,000 new cases a year. 60,000 new cases a year for 100 years. Well, 3 months ago, it went up to 90,000.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, the newest report was 90,000 cases.
That's correct.
Were being diagnosed per year.
And that's because doctors started giving injections to lower blood cholesterol levels, and it's taking away the raw materials for you to maintain your brain and spinal cord. Cholesterol is not a bad thing. Fried cholesterol is bad, but cholesterol is not a bad thing. It's just the raw materials for your brain and your hormones. You want cholesterol. You do not want to fry foods in it. You do not want to cook and burn foods that have cholesterol in it. Okay, because then you convert it to something that's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, let's go into some questions, Dr. Wallach, because we do have hands up. We've got a couple of questions that have come in. The first question that I want to address is coming from Sharon, and she says, does that mean that our gardens that we plant now are not nourishing? She says that she has heard you many times over and over and wants to know about our own personal gardening and the produce that are coming from it.
Well, you have to understand what you put in your garden. You have to put in the food for the plants. Okay.
In the garden itself or in the soil, Dr. Wallach?
In the garden.
Okay.
So when the plant is growing in that garden, the food is in there so that the plant gets the raw materials out of the garden. Okay.
So you're talking about amending the soil to make sure the nutrients are in the soil.
That's correct.
Okay.
And they used to do that. They used to put the wood ashes and coal ashes from our fireplaces and stoves and so forth into our gardens and into our fields. And we got the minerals that way for thousands of years. Then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September, whatever it was, 1882.
80 something.
Or 18 something, 1882 and 12, I think. 1882 and 12 years. Guess what? Suddenly now, the whole idea of Parkinson's disease came up. The whole idea of muscular dystrophy came up. The whole idea of ALS and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis came up. The whole idea of everything that had to do with memory and brain was founded. Before that, it was extremely rare.
So everything that was mineral based, where minerals were important for the diet to be able to maintain health, started to expose itself.
Yeah, well, we gave up those minerals when we gave up wood and coal for fuel. That's where we're getting our
started damming up the rivers and that natural mineral deposits that happened within the farming lands.
That contributed also. Absolutely. And that was
Okay.
associated with electricity, hydroelectric dams.
So for those of us who are in the United States and in some other areas, there is a product called Bloomin' Minerals that is taking the prehistoric plant-derived minerals from the deposits that Longevity has acquired, that they do keep away from pollution. Their mining practices are very clean. So the blooming minerals are available then for purchase from the person that shared this program with you. And yep, got Coach AJ holding up a bottle of the soil revitalizer, the blooming minerals. Comes in different packages.
And then we also need the I-26.
Well, I'm not going to put I-26 in my garden right now. I'm talking about putting amendments in my garden, Dr. Wallach, so that the food that I grow in my garden has the nutrients that I need, at least more of them that I need in order to be healthy. So Bloomin' Minerals, you can also, if you're not already associated with somebody that shared this program with you, you can go to dailywithdoc.com. There you will find a store with all the products that are mentioned as well, including the Kids Toddy, the EFA Plus, multi-EFA, all of the healthy body packs that were mentioned as well, and the I-26. So tell us about I-26, Dr. Wallach. Super duper quick, because we've got hands up.
Okay. I-26 is a raw material for your brain and spinal cord to maintain themselves. It's the raw material. And of course, we used to get this by eating lots of eggs, and we would eat fatty meats and things like that. We don't do any of that stuff anymore. And so all our sources of raw materials to maintain your brain and spinal cord went away. And we have in our flip chart on page 26, okay, a story where we actually had one of our first reversals, of Parkinson's disease. A lady by the name of Madeline had it for, I don't know, 10, 12 years, getting worse. And the doctor said, your time is done. And we put her on the program, okay, with the I-26. And in 2.5 months, she went for her regular exam, and the doctor said, you don't have it anymore. You don't have Parkinson's anymore.
She no longer had the symptoms that she had for 11 years. On that 12th year exam that was required, she no longer had those symptoms after 2.5 months on the program that you had recommended, Dr. Wallach. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And it's even more so encouraging for each and every one of you that are listening with us today, is that what we put in our mouth, good and bad, affects how our bodies are able to respond. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to the first hand that is up, and TC, go ahead and unmute yourself. What questions do you have for Dr. Wallach today, TC?
Yes. I had a question. Can anybody use Ocean's Gold, or is that just for people who have a thyroid problem? Because I heard you on Coast this week talking with someone.
No, Ocean's Gold is one of those things where anybody can use. I don't have a thyroid problem, but I use Ocean's Gold. I take 3 of those twice a day with all my other products. Okay. And it has quite a few nutrients in it because it's based on Ocean's Gold, which is the seaweed, in the oceans. It's a seaweed. And so we get a lot of our nutrients from the seaweed in the ocean, as well as the, what do you call that, where they have the big stuff under the rocks and the shells and everything underneath. It's a wall made.
All right.
Well, you've got the mineral deposits.
Yeah, see, my mother, she's on medicines for osteoporosis, and she gets cold a lot, and it could be a side effect of the medicines, but her doctor said, you have an abnormal thyroid. And I don't know if that's because of test results or he's just guessing. So,
anyway, Ocean's Gold, your mom, regardless of her body weight, she could take 2 or 3 of those twice a day.
Okay.
And then her main problem is what?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What's her main problem? Why is she going to the doctor?
Oh, she's has osteoporosis, blood clot, high blood pressure, She's 94 years old, and
Well, if she has high blood pressure and osteoporosis, does she have any blood sugar problems?
what kind of problems?
Blood sugar, diabetes, anything like that?
Blood sugar? No, no. No.
Okay. All right. At any rate,
But you do have her on the bone and joint pack, and she's taking the vitamin D3 and Rebound and Ultimate Daily Classic
yeah,
tablet.
she could certainly take the Ocean's Gold, no problem.
And she could take the Ocean's Gold too.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yep. And one thing I like about the Ocean's Gold, Dr. Wallach, is I believe it also has calcium from Aquamin. So that's extra calcium that's coming in. And for those with thyroid issues, adding a little extra iodine, Longevity has a product called Ultimate Iodine. Just helps to support in all of the functions that the body has that needs iodine in order to function as well. So Dr. Wallach, I have a question from a woman. It's pretty exciting because she has lost 30 pounds, but she's having problems with perimenopause. She is, let's see, this last year, some sort of period every day for over a year. She's 48 years old, 5'6" tall. She is overweight, but like I said, she's lost 30 pounds so far being on a program. And so she's 448 pounds at the time.
How much?
But 448.
448.
But she's having
448.
times. Yes, sir. She's
Okay.
having times of extremely heavy clotting and blood flow during the periods that makes her feel lightheaded. And she's been having a racing heartbeat. So, Dr. Wallach, what would you recommend for this beautiful woman?
Does she have any diabetes?
There is no sign of blood sugar issues.
Okay. So 440 pounds, that's a little overweight. Okay. So anyway, she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, round oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. She needs to take a minimum of 2 of our Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, take a full dose of everything at breakfast, full dose at dinner time. If finances are not a problem, I'm going to go with 3 Healthy Brain and Heart packs and take a full dose of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. That's going to cover her heart issues as well as the weight. Let's see here. She could, we got 2 or 3 of our different weight products, so she could take some of those.
Well, and even though they don't have blood sugar issues, Dr. Wallach, with the sweeties, that helps the body be able to process the sugar that is in the body so it doesn't turn into fat. Is that correct?
Yeah,
and that's because of
that's one of the things
nutrients
it
in
does. That's one of the things it does, yeah.
All right. And anything else? I mean, I love our new shakes, Dr. Wallach. Our meal replacement shakes. Right now, there's one that's birthday cake. They've got another one coming out and they're going to be doing a series of unique flavors. So they're going to be limited.
I would, in place of the birthday cake, I would give her the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And instead of taking that third dose of the Healthy Brain and Heart pack, take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs a month, full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner time, and then get say 3 bottles of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets per month, and take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That's going to help with circulation in the brain, her heart, her liver, all over the body, and it's going to help her kidneys be happy, and then it's going to take away her hunger. The reason why she's so big is she's hungry. She's got this behavior that happens when you're minerally deficient.
You're thinking of a behavior called pica.
Yeah, she's got pica. Okay. And so she eats maybe 5 meals an hour. She may be eating 20 meals a day, and that's why she's 400 pounds.
Maybe, but I also know that stress and cortisol levels play into that. And those are from nutritional deficiencies as well, which what you just recommended help give the brain what it needs to be able to function properly and be able to maintain stress.
I-26.
And I-26, absolutely. We got to work on the digestive system.
I'd never take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, and 3 at dinner time. I-26.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And next, let's go to the next hand that is up, and Coach Rod. go ahead and what questions are you bringing to Dr. Wallach today?
Good afternoon, Doc. How you doing?
Hello.
I have a female that's 38 years old, 5'4", 180 pounds, and she says she has cellulitis. Anything suggested for cellulitis?
Okay, cellulitis is a sort of a non-specific term for inflammation of cells in the body. It could be in the muscles, it could be in her liver, it could be in her lungs, it could be in her brain, it could be in all of those. So do we have any more details?
No, she was just said on her skin, like the cellulitis on the outside of the skin.
Okay,
from
her
the
skin is
arms
also
down to
involved.
the legs. Yeah, arms, legs, and thighs mostly.
Okay,
All around.
so her thyroid, you say?
No,
Legs
thighs,
and
Dr.
thighs.
Wallach.
I'm still not getting that skin and what?
This on the skin, the arms, the legs, especially the thighs.
Oh, legs and thighs, okay. All right. Yeah, well, she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bar, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything at breakfast, full dose at dinner time. I want her to have the, let's see here. I want her to have the product that is used for, let's see here, hair, skin, and nails. Let's go with hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. That'll take 3 bottles a month. This is a small little bottle. So 3 bottles a month of the hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. And let's see here. I also want her to have our glucogel. She could take an extra 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. So it'll require 2 bottles a month of the glucogel. That helps repair everything that has connective tissue in it: skin, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, all that kind of stuff. And if she has pain in her joints or certain areas, we do have the CM cream, which she can apply topically, say 2-3 times a day, say 3 hours apart. And she gets some significant pain relief within, say, 10-15 minutes after applying it. And the pain relief will last for, say, anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 hours. Okay. And then call us every couple of weeks. Let us know what's going on, if you would, on that one, Coach.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
Likewise.
All right, thank you, Rod, for bringing questions in. And next, let's go to AJ. AJ, what questions do you have for Dr. Wallach today? Or
Hey, Doc.
comments?
Morning. I
Hey,
think
yeah,
this is going to be the last one. This is going to be the last one, I
Well,
think.
actually, I'm going to let the person behind me ask his question. He had his hand up first. I was just going to mention that a couple folks around the world on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, like Tori and Joe and Olga, and everyone says hi and how much they love Doc.
Oh, that's very sweet. Very, very nice.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
AJ.
God bless.
And let's go to Joe. Joe, go ahead and unmute yourself. Can you unmute, Joe? I wonder if,
There he goes.
oh, there he is. Go ahead, Joe. Uh-oh, I'm not hearing him.
So I do have
But I'm
Joe's
wondering-
question.
So I have a Joe with a question and I have a Joe with a comment. So if it's the Joe with the comment, Joe says, I seriously prayed for the answer to my H. pylori. I was sick. God led me to this doctor who gave me the answer so I don't get it ever again. Thanks, Doc, and thanks to all of you who are here. So is that the question, AJ?
No, Joe is 78 years old. He's 175 pounds and 5'11". He's having trouble with his memory over the last few years since he's got the virus of 2019, and he doesn't go to doctors. He doesn't, and he understands that you had some folks helped with macular degeneration. Is there something you can do for his cataracts?
Okay. He needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. I want him to have 175 pounds. I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose twice a day. I want him to have the I-26. I want him to have 3 doses a day of I-26. Okay, that's for the memory and the eyes, because the skull squeezes the optic nerve and causes all kinds of problem with the eyes. Okay. Then he needs the I-26. I've said three times a day. I also have him take let's see here. I do want him to take the Occutive. He could take 3 of those twice a day. He needs a Vision FX. He could take 3 of those twice a day. And let's see here. Let's have him go with additionally, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 2 bottles a month, so he could have 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and healthy blood flow in target organs like the kidneys. People don't realize how the kidneys are so, which they say, so tightly bound with what goes on in the heart and the brain, and the lungs and everything. And so I love that Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 twice a day minimum. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. I know that we have a coach that took the notes to share with Joe. So thank you to all of our coaches who are here on with us at Daily with Doc. And we are at the top of the hour. So if I could quickly get the co-hosts up on the screen with me, I greatly appreciate that, because Doc, you and I can't do it all. We need all of these people, plus those that are sharing the program, that are listening. You know, we had several coaches that are not part of our team, that are part of our family, on with us and bringing questions in for their clients as well. And folks, if you have any interest in helping others with health, there is room for you at our table, as we have a program called the Certified Holistic Health Coach course that is offered by the Institute of Holistic Health, totally separate from longevity. But the Institute of Health has found the value and the solutions in what Dr. Wallach's research has done and brought to the table, that they have created this program to allow people to become certified holistic health coaches. Dr. Wallach is holding up the inside of the book, Metabolic Syndrome, where we have a picture of just a couple of the first people that were in this course.
Down a little bit.
Nope, I see it just perfect, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
But and some of the people you see on the screen with us today, right now. So if you'd like more information about the Certified Holistic Health Coach course, you can go to Coach with Doc. That's Coach with DOC.com and get more information about the coaching program as well. Dr. Wallach, thank you so much. I know that you have another program coming up, a special edition that's going to be airing in the LA area here in just a short hour plus. So thank you for being on with us again on Daily with Doc. I'm going to go ahead and let you go and get ready for that. And I'm sorry?
I said, thank you.
All right. You're welcome, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you to all of my team and all they do as they're answering phones, they're fielding these questions, they're putting information into the chat, they're making sure that the streams are going smoothly and get set up correctly. And, you know, all together we do some amazing stuff. So just want to do a shout out to Rod and Marilyn and Albert and Ruth Ellen and AJ. And today we don't have Sherry or Phyllis with us, but oh, yes, we do. Sherry, how come you're not on the screen with me? I was like, I know she was here earlier. Folks, you know, all these friendly faces, they are people who just have a heart to help others. So if you're not working with anybody, because the person that you are working with has a heart to help you, and they took the time and cared enough about you to share this with you, that you need to get back with them. That's your first priority, okay? But if you've never heard this message before, or you've been following us for a while and you have never tried the longevity products or spoken to anybody, give our team a call, 855-949-3377. That's 855-949-3377. And you will have a certified holistic health coach on the other end of that line waiting to help you reach whatever it is that you're trying to reach and maintain. Okay. We are around the world, as we have Albert down in South Africa, as he's letting people in there with his buddy Marty, my buddy Marty, in the background, who actually, yes, is in his backyard. But that is a picture of him. We have Coach Rod, who helps, and he and AJ both are very much into the sports nutrition and the nutrition that is needed to maintain and grow up our youth. We have Sherry and Marilyn very much into helping people with even the hardest stuff when it comes to working with the body, making sure the body gets what it needs. And Ruth Ellen is right there with them as well. And we all are backed by Dr. Wallach and his recommendations, his research. So if there's something that comes up that we don't know about, we can always call him, or pharmacist Ben, or both, or Dr. Cara, or Dr. Mitchell, or Dr. Conway, or Dr. Dennison. Folks, we've got an amazing team of doctors that support us in supporting you. So make that first step, get on a program, get back with a person, share this program with you, or reach out to us if you're not working with somebody. If you want to do it yourself, go to the website, dailywithdoc.com. There's a store there that has all the products that were mentioned today. You can go shopping on your own. We even have replays of the program and the good foods, bad foods list on our website, dailywithdoc.com. So until next time, bye for now. What did I forget, AJ?
Pharmacist Fridays?
Oh, Pharmacist Fridays. Yes, absolutely. So Fridays, we have Pharmacist Fridays, where we have one of the most amazing teachers who come from the pharmacy world here to help us learn even more in depth about what goes on within the body and what we can do to support it to a better direction of health. Bye for now. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr.